Michael Corleone is an introvert and a loner, but he's different from the other examples we analyzed here on the channel. As one of the most iconic characters in movie history, his story is one that we can learn a lot from. His rise and his corruption teach us a lot about power, intelligence and morality as a leader. Even though most of us are not part of an Italian mob crime family, we can implement the following lessons within our own daily lives. My name is Saint Simon and I welcome you here on this channel. It's always great to have you here. The story of the Corleone family is a tragic story, and today we analyze the character of Michael Corleone. Like this video and subscribe if you're new. This video was suggested by you, so write in the comments the characters you would like to see in future videos. The movie starts with the introduction of Vito Corleone, the dawn of the Corleone family. We are introduced to the power he holds. A man comes to him with his problem. The light on his face shows his lack of power. We see him through the perspective of the Don, looking down from an angle of power. The Don is in control over the fate of this man. Vito is a powerful man. He's not shouting or threatening, he shows his power through calmness under pressure.
But you don't ask with respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather.
Vito is also a man of eloquence. He is a virtuous man who honors virtues such as friendship, family and loyalty.
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully?
He is also a man of respect. He gives respect and he demands respect. Vito is a fair man who serves his community. Even though this is a crime business, this is also a family business, similar to the Peaky Blinder family business.
Godfather.
As the man kisses his ring, he shows this way his obedience. He shows who has the responsibility and therefore the power to decide. Whom you give the power, you give the responsibility. Even though Vito is a mob gangster, he is also another example of the divine masculine. He's an honorable gangster, and what he values most is family.
We're not taking a picture with Michael.
This is a film about family values. Family above everything else.
Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
But this is not just any family, this is a big wealthy family that is observed by the FBI, the Corleone family, the Italian mob. The family consists of Vito Corleone, Sonny, his first son, Frido, his second son, Connie, his daughter, Michael, his third son, and Tom, his adopted son. While everyone is already there, Michael now arrives with his girlfriend Kay at his sister's wedding. This is the beginning of the story of our protagonist, Michael Corleone. The most interesting aspect of this story is that it's a tragic story. In this kind of story we see a gradual decline of the protagonist's moral character. The protagonist typically starts with potential for greatness or goodness, but is ultimately brought down by their own flaws or circumstances. Michael here is already the best version of himself. He's intelligent, humble, kind and overall a good man. He's innocent. Michael is the son who knows about the family business but who does not participate in it. He lives in the normal world.
That's my family, Kay. It's not me.
Johnny, the famous singer, comes to Vito with a problem and asks for help. California has washed and feminized him. He whines and complains like a coward.
You can act like a man!
But as the Don he is, he helps him. California, baby! Hollywood! Tom is there to solve Johnny's problem. This shows us again the power of the Corleone family. Tom makes the filmmaker an offer he can't refuse. The filmmaker dares to try to refuse the offer, but an offer you can't refuse is an offer you can't refuse. The next morning, the filmmaker wakes up with the head of his favorite horse in his bed. This is the art of drama, to show what happens if you try to refuse an offer from the Don. This is the reason Michael doesn't want to be part of the family business. He knows the surface level and he knows the level underneath. This form of power, like the Corleone family has, doesn't come from being nice. A tragic story often occurs not because the protagonist wants something and gets corrupted by trying to get it, but rather that the protagonist becomes entangled in a world he doesn't want to be part of. This is the beginning of Michael's entanglement. A new player comes into town and wants to bring narcotics into the city with the help of the Corleone family.
Santino, what do you think?
There's a lot of money in that white powder.
Vito asks Sonny to test his character. He is his firstborn son and the next potential Dawn. Vito is an intelligent man who can read people. Here he is reading Sonny to test if he is ready to be Dawn. Respect is a two-way street. If you want to get it, you have to give it. Even though Vito doesn't intend to do business with the narcotics guy, he still treats him with respect. He is against narcotics because they are dirty business. Vito worked his life to be a good Dawn and to bring welfare to his community, to serve the people around him so that his children and their children have a better future. He uses corrupt methods, but his heart is full of love. Narcotics make everything dirty, they bring danger and more corruption. Vito doesn't want more corruption, but less. He wants the Corleone family to be a legal and ethical family business. Sonny interrupts and talks business. This is the stone that set everything in motion. Now the narcotics guy knows that Vito is a man of virtues and principles. He is the only one who is against narcotics. But his oldest son, who also would be the next Dawn, is not a virtuous man and is more in favor of making more money. That makes the family separated and the Dawn a target for his enemies.
What's the matter with you? Never tell anybody outside the family what you're thinking again.
This is a principle from Machiavelli the Prince and Sun Tzu the Art of War. The more you talk, the higher the chance that you give valuable information about you that can be used against you. Back in the good old days, Tsars invited their enemies to dinner and gave them alcohol to open them up. This way they got information about them to use these later against them. In our daily lives we have such situations rarely, but what we have more often is the situation that we talk and say something stupid that undermines our power. The lesson here is, listen more than you talk. Read the people around you and think before you speak. Use rhetorical pauses and silence to give your words more power and yourself more time to think before you speak. Sonny does not think before he talks. He's talking and not thinking at all. That's why he is not ready to be Dawn. Sonny is not ready to be Dawn because he lacks intelligence and self-mastery. Fredo is not ready to be Dawn because he's still a child. He's not a man because he's not independent. He is dependent on love to survive. Christmas. Michael is shopping with Kate. He's happy, living a normal life. While Vito is walking in the streets, assassins enter the scene, shooting at Vito. Fredo tries to grab his gun but lacks the competence and courage to defend his father. The Dawn falls to the ground. Fredo doesn't even hold his gun right, but instantly starts crying and whimpering, like a child who was left alone. On the other side, Michael is so disconnected from his family, he does not even know that his father was shot, but only reads it in the papers. At the same time, the narco is making an offer to Tom and Sonny. The narco is intelligent, and Sonny is dumb, and the dumb are the easiest to manipulate. The narco made an intelligent chess move. Eliminate Vito and put Sonny as Dawn of the family to control him like a puppet. The boys are now without a father and without someone to lead them. They have to figure out how to deal with this situation. Now Michael is entangled with his family. While everyone is working, Michael is the only one who sits around like a boy. Michael has no business with the others. He has no purpose. And without purpose he has no power. And without power he is not a real man. Michael has no purpose, but this is soon about to change. Michael visits his father, who is shot but not dead yet. No one there, no guards, no police, everyone gone. This is the first key moment in his transformation. Because no one is there, he has to take responsibility to protect his father. He becomes at this moment his guardian angel. Michael is not armed, that's why he employs the art of drama to pretend to look like a mafia guard. Both he and the baker face death and survive. What is the difference between Michael and Fredo? Michael is intelligent and courageous. He was in the army and is already familiar with death. He's ready to risk his own life to protect his father. Now, minutes later the police shows up and interrogates Michael. The police chef shows his power through violence and force. And this is the second key moment in Michael's transformation, because here he realizes that even normal life is corrupted. Police, politicians, everything can be corrupted. Michael will never live a normal life, because a normal life is an illusion. This is a dark world in which you have to take ownership to survive and strive. Corleone mentioned, Sonny is too personal about business. He is not able to handle the situation. Michael, on the other side, is cold and detached. He knows exactly what to do. Now that he is his father's guardian angel, he uses his biggest strengths, his intelligence and his courage, to protect his father. He takes advantage of his status as a civilian to lure his enemies into a place where they feel safe and then strike fast and precise to eliminate them and so protect his father from future attacks. But as Michael makes his proposition, everyone in the room laughs. Sonny treats Michael like a child, but Michael is not Fredo and stands up for himself and shows everyone that he's serious.
It's not personal, Sonny. It's strictly business.
Michael would therefore sacrifice himself for the family. After that, all the attention will be on him, and he will lose his status as a civilian. But he promised his father to protect him, and he will do what is necessary to keep him safe. The narco guy and the corrupted police chief both meet Michael and play nice to him to gain his favor to leverage their business. They know that he is more intelligent to talk to rather than Sonny, but they also see him as no danger due to his status as a civilian. They underestimate him. Michael's power is similar to his father. Calmness under pressure, silence, and observation. He makes strong eye contact to show his power and seriousness, similar to Thomas and Caesar.
No more attempts on my father's life.
Michael is about to make a life-changing choice. After that, his life will never be the same, but he's willing to do what is needed to protect his father. The pressure increases and bang, bang, bang! 3 shots, 2 dead. Michael is now an angel of death. Corleone mention. Fredo can't even really stand. You can tell the character of a man by the way he sits. The same goes for standing, and you see it for Fredo. He is a child in a man's world. The only reason he survives in this world is because he's protected by his family. Fredo sits by Vito like a child, independent of his father. Sonny sits at the head of the table. He's now father in the house as long as Vito is not able to. But Sonny is a bad father. He is a bad leader. Michael revenged his father and also made sure that he's safe now. But that isn't tragic so far. Yes, he's not completely innocent anymore, but he's not fully corrupted. His real origin story unfolds in Sicily. He was not part of that family, but now he is. Here he learns his roots. He is now a Corleone. It's also here where he meets Apollonia. Love at first sight. Michael is now a man of respect. He gives respect and asks for permission to date her. And because Michael is a man of respect, he is given respect and his wish is granted. Michael is now part of the Corleone family business, and that means that he is no longer innocent. His heart is corrupted. Apollonia represents in his world innocence. That's why Michael desires her. He desires his innocence. With her, his life is sweet and full of light. She heals his heart. Michael is a gentleman because he's a man of power who uses his power gently. During his time in Sicily, he is good with children, because here his heart is healed and good. While Michael has a great time experiencing love and healing, Sonny again acts emotionally and is not thinking. He walks straight into a trap, into his death, having one of the most iconic death scenes in movie history. Vito lost his firstborn son. The enemy's hunting them again. Michael is not safe anymore and has to move to another place. But Michael got betrayed by one of his own men.
No! No, I belong!
A bomb was planted for him, but hit instead Apollonia. This is the third key moment in the transformation of Michael. Who did Michael love the most? Apollonia. He truly loved her. She was the living representation of his heart. She was what remained of Michael's innocence. Now, this last bit of innocence is gone. Through this experience, he becomes more cold and detached. His heart closes and fills with anger and lust for revenge. America. All the dawns meet. Michael is Vito's favorite son. He lost already his firstborn child and doesn't want to lose another. Michael sacrificed himself for his father, and he now sacrifices himself for Michael, letting go and allowing the narcotic biz into the city, sharing his influence under the rule that Michael is safe. Michael and Kate have a reunion. 1 year have passed since Sicily. For Michael, his desire for his old life remains, his innocence he once had. Kate knew Michael before all of this. She is the only one who sees him with these eyes. She represents the innocence that Michael once had. That's why Michael wants her back in his life. Because of that, and also because he is now the dawn of the family, and to be a dawn you need to have a family on your own. This shows the coldness of Michael's heart and the biggest difference between him and Vito. Vito is a family man. He doesn't spend time with his family as a disguise, but he actually cares for them. They are the light in his dark world. He is a gangster, but his heart is warm and full of love. Michael, on the other side, has become so cold and detached now that he sees the people in his life more like chess figures. It's also in his interest to care and protect for them, but it's more like protecting your chess figures from the enemy. Now Michael's heart is cold and his innocence gone. The only thing he cares about is to survive and strive in a dark world. As the new dawn of the Corleone family and with Vito as his advisor, Michael uses his intelligence to restructure the family business with the main goal of becoming legal. He uses their resources in a new way, to expand and diversify the business, creating new sources of income and opportunities for leverage. Vegas. Michael deals with Mo Green. They want to expand their casino and entertainment business in Vegas. Here Michael realizes that his brother Fredo has no power in Vegas. He spends all his time partying. Similar to Sonny, Fredo is also controlled by someone from outside the family. Fredo has no self-respect. He is okay when someone straightens him up. He is a child in an adult's body. Fredo tries to stand up for himself, but he is weak.
But don't ever take sides with anyone against the family again.
Michael is the dawn of the family, but he is not feared like his father. He is not a godfather. People respect the name Corleone, but not Michael. Vito consults and teaches Michael the way how to be dawn and how to reach godfather status. Michael is still the angel of his father, protecting him by leading the family successfully, making him proud by becoming legal. But Vito is frustrated because he didn't want Michael to be bothered with the business. He accepts it because in some way he always wanted him to pull the strings, because he is the only one capable of doing it. Vito dies of old age in peace and love with his grandchild. He was a divine masculine man, and that's how he died, in a divine way, as a loving grandfather. Rest in peace to Vito. He was an honorable man and he died an honorable death. Now that Vito is dead, Michael has no backup. He has to prove himself to become Godfather. Before his enemies hunt him, he becomes the hunter, hunting them first. Michael observes his enemies, using again his biggest strength, his intelligence. Now Michael knows who the traitor is. Michael now makes his chess move, again letting his enemies think that they are safe and strike in the moment of surprise. Michael strikes and kills all the head dawns at the same time, while he becomes Godfather, taking sole control of everything and establishing his power in the normal world and in the underworld. His status as Dawn, as Avatar in both worlds. Michael is now Godfather, Dawn of the family, but not just any family. He is the Dawn of the Corleone family, the highest form of power. But for what price? For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world but lose his soul? Michael established his status and killed all the Dawns. Now he clears out the snakes in his own circles. Michael plays Carlo, making him feel safe to confess the truth, and then revenge Sonny. Michael takes control of everything and everyone in his family. The door closes, metaphorically showing that there are two worlds, the normal world and the underworld. Michael now made the complete transformation from the normal to the underworld, from innocence to corruption, warm to cold, heart to mind. End. Michael's tragic story of rise to power shows us that even though this is a dark world, it's our own actions and attitudes that create our lives. Vito was an honorable gangster with principles and values. Even though he used immoral methods, his heart was full of love. He was a light in a dark world. Michael, on the other side, is the light that tries to escape the darkness and then slowly gets consumed by it until it fades away. He starts with a warm heart full of love and becomes more cold and detached over time. Michael is in this case very similar to Thomas Shelby, who also becomes continuously more cold and detached due to loss and traumatic experiences, as ego survival mechanism to survive and strive in a dark world. Both play a cold persona even though they have a good heart underneath. That's why they are such interesting characters. They are not evil, but play a mask as self-defense mechanism. My name is Saint Simon and it's always great to have you here. You can vote in the community tab for new characters and new projects. Thanks for tuning in, until we meet again in the next video.